Congratulations to the New York Knicks for winning the 2026 Larry O'Brien Trophy and becoming NBA champions. To celebrate winning their first ring since famous ring coveter J.R.R. Tolkien was alive, you know New York had to have one of those famous ticker tape parades. And what did the people bring to that parade? Championship merch. Some jewelry company will produce replicas of that championship ring, crusted like a poppy seed bagel with fake gems. They'll get a commemorative Sports Illustrated Champions cover. There will be shirts and hats and towels and books and DVD collectors box sets and mugs and foam fingers and water bottles and coins and blankets. Merchandising minds much greater than mine are busy slapping championship logos on things I can't even conceive. But there is one thing they're not cooking up. Something the Lakers had all the way back in 1985. A championship cookbook. I'm Harry Swartout. Let's play to the echo of the whistle. The 1985 Showtime Lakers were bigger than basketball. Anytime you flipped on the television or sat down in a dark movie theater in the 80s, there were suspiciously tall men from LA on the screen. They were led by film and TV legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Wait a minute, I know you. You're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You play basketball for the Los Angeles Lakers.
I'm sorry, son, but you must have me confused with someone else. My name is Roger Murdoch.
Then you had Magic Johnson, who was Nepo-babied into the Pee-wee's Playhouse Christmas special.
Look, it's Magic Johnson.
Hi, Pee-wee.
Hi, Magic. What are you doing in the Magic screen?
The Magic Screen and I are cousins.
Can I give you a lift?
Thanks.
James Worthy found work in other galaxies as a Klingon in Star Trek: The Next Generation.
We're here to conduct a health and safety inspection of your ship.
Health and safety inspection.
That's right.
And those are just the stars. Even the bench players like Jamal Wilkes starred in movies like Cornbread, Earl, and Me.
That's my friend Cornbread. He's the best basketball player in the city, maybe even the world.
He's a man with a plan. He's got a basketball in his hand.
It took some serious ladies to stand up to the larger-than-life Lakers. Long before wife and girlfriend group chats were an option, Lakers center Bob McAdoo's wife, Charlena McAdoo, reached out to the wives and girlfriends of her husband's teammates to suggest squirreling away cash so if their relationship with a pro basketball player ever went bad, they had something to fall back on. And thus, the Laker ladies were born. Here's LA superfan Pablo Goldstein.
They truly leaned on each other for support during trying times and the embarrassing indignities that could come from being married to famous athletes. One of my blog posts was about James Worthy's wife, Angela Worthy, who had to deal with some public cases of infidelity. And later on, when they separated, she even kind of became a motivational speaker in the vein of telling independent women, especially those who may have gone through a divorce, on how to move on to the next stage of their life. So it can be very lonely sometimes. And, the athletes were dealing with loneliness themselves in hotel rooms, but, they kind of had outlets like the Forum Club, which was for more or less a haven for all of the excesses of the 1980s that you can think of. So lots of powder and partying, shall we say.
Remember Pablo and his blog for later, but for now, know that the group evolved. The Laker ladies organized and became a fully fledged charitable arm of the Lakers called Forum Community Services, Inc. They set up Christmas toy drives, youth outreach programs, and anti-drug campaigns. This is the part where I play for you the Lakers' 1987 anti-drug rap, co-written by Angela Worthy. They distributed the video to local high schools to convince impressionable teens to lay off the smack. If you could see the video, you'd realize that almost the entire starting lineup are wearing those big, boxy 80s hats and sunglasses that cover their faces like they're in a whack MC's protection program. But anyway. For the 1984-85 season, the Los Angeles Lakers weren't preoccupied with acting. They were focused on winning. 2 years previous, the Lakers fell to the Dr. J and Moses Malone 76ers in the finals. In 1984, they lost to their mortal enemies, the Boston Celtics, in a heartbreaking Game 7, extending their streak of losing to Boston in the finals to 8. 85 was gonna be different, because in 85, they were gonna win. The regular season went like it had been going. First in the Pacific Division, first in the Western Conference, behind some of the most amazing fast break offense the league had ever seen.
No good to rebound the Magic, 3-on-2. He's in the middle. To the right, and no look pass to Scott. 20-0.
So the 85 Lakers stampeded into the playoffs in their usual flashy, blink and you'll miss it, high-flying fashion. The Lakers' first-round opponents were the horribly injured Suns, down 5 regular season contributors. Suns mascot Go Gorilla wore head bandages in solidarity with his hurt heroes. You know it's bad when coach John McLeod didn't think that Phoenix had a shot.
There's no sense in deluding ourselves and thinking that there's an even match here. We are a banged-up team.
McLeod was right, and the Lakers swept the Suns in 3 games, winning each game by no fewer than 16 points. 1 down, 3 to go. Next up was the Portland Trailblazers, who had a bit of a glow-up in the 84 offseason. Portland had traded 5 players to get dynamic forward Kiki Vandeweghe to pair with Clyde Drexler and Jim Paxson. All they needed was a center they had been lacking since the departure of Bill Walton in 1979. And they had the second pick in the 84 draft to go and get him.
Against the Lakers, Bowie converted all the talk of his potential into talk of his performance as he anchored the Blazers' determined transition game.
The Blazers made Kentucky center Sam Bowie the number 2 overall draft pick. But I just can't help feeling that there's something they missed.
The Chicago Bulls pick Michael Jordan of the University of North Carolina.
Great pick, Blazers. No notes. Bowie did help the Blazers to their only win of the series at home in Game 4. Otherwise, it was all Lakers, who averaged victory by 15 points in their 4 wins. In the Western Conference Finals, the Lakers faced off against the Denver Nuggets, and this one was close. For 1 game. Ahead 2-1, the Nuggets nearly made it a tied series, but the Lakers took advantage of an injured Alex English, who broke his thumb in the first half, and a dinged Calvin Nat, who went off for a long stretch before making a strong comeback. In the end, it was tied with 1 minute remaining.
Kareem with 30 seconds. Kareem underneath, puts it up, no. Gets it back, puts it up, no. Rebound to Worthy, put it up, 5-footer, no. Rebound is off, 3 ball. Lakers got it. Cooper throws it, no. Tip Worthy, yes.
The stage was set for the Lakers-Celtics rematch everybody wanted. So why don't you go and make yourself a casserole dish full of Jerry Buss's 7-layer slam dunk dip before we come back with the thrilling conclusion of the 1985 NBA Finals. But for now, these words from our sponsors. The Lakers advanced to the finals to face their arch-rivals, the Celtics, determined to make it a different series than it had been the previous season. I'm going to spare you some drama. This is a story about the championship cookbook after all, so you should be able to use context clues to guess what happened next. The Lakers beat the Celtics in 6 games. You know Larry Bird was going to eat.
In Game 4, he was an outright tour de force, gobbling up and throwing down anything he could get his hands on.
And Magic Johnson was going to be, well, magic.
And it was Magic Johnson who kicked it into high gear. Johnson wound up with 26 picture-perfect points and 17 assists, making more amends for last year's tough sledding.
But in the end, Kareem was the difference maker, and the Lakers were your 1984-85 NBA champions.
3 in 6 years, LA comes to Boston and wins the world title.
As the Laker men hugged, cheered, and poured champagne on each other, the Laker ladies began thinking, how could they leverage the team's success for the children? The idea came from a great American fundraising tradition, charity cookbooks. What started out with one woman, Maria J. Moss, publishing a poetical cookbook in 1864 and using the proceeds to care for injured Union soldiers, became a flood of cookbooks supporting everything from the women's suffrage movement to the First Presbyterian Church in Dayton, Ohio. In a world where women had little political and economic autonomy, cookbooks both raised funds and spread whatever message needed to be sent. Moreover, they cost almost no money to make, and gave the person purchasing the charity cookbook a way to engage with the cause. And what person in the 80s didn't want to be engaged with the Showtime Lakers? I mean the war on drugs.
And I understand that the Lakers family has not only been an example for young people on the court, but also off the court. Lakers' wives have taken on drug abuse prevention as their special project. And I want you to know how grateful both Nancy and I are for your important work in this area.
Anti-drug hip-hop videos don't fund themselves, so the Laker ladies got to writing. First came the recipes. The Laker ladies added theirs. Angela Worthy's pecan pie, Linda Rambis's fettuccine and cream sauce, Valerie Wilkes' Johnny Cakes. Then they got the current players' dishes. Kareem's A Great Paella, Larry Spriggs' very own brownies, Bob McAdoo's Macadoodle-Doo. After that, they had to get creative. Here's Pablo Goldstein again.
They put together this book of recipes that didn't just contain recipes from the players and the wives, but also coaches, training staff, the team doctor and team dentist, to celebrities ranging from Jack Nicholson, of course, and Gilda Radner, but also politicians like Mayor Tom Bradley at the time, who was mayor of Los Angeles for 20 years, Governor George Deukmejian, and even just some kind of random people. They just kind of brought together this wide range of Angelinos from that time period to bring together their favorite recipes, whether it's stuff they cooked or, maybe mom's secret recipe, stuff like that.
Former players chimed in. Wilt Chamberlain supplied shrimp curry, and Gail Goodrich had broccoli and cheese casserole. The front office offered ideas, sometimes multiple times. Jerry West by himself contributed recipes for sangria, spicy eggnog, old-fashioned lemonade, sweet apple sauté, strawberry cheesecake, and stuffed potato skins. Pat Riley's assistant, Mary Lou Liebig, gave her recipe for baked chicken Reuben. Chick Hearn gave his mustard chicken breasts. Finally, they asked some of the Glitterati Lakers superfans, "Don't you want to try Jack Nicholson's soft scrambled eggs?" No, that's not a euphemism.
I'd like a plain omelet, no potatoes, tomatoes instead, a cup of coffee, and wheat toast.
For a title, they landed on the decidedly clunky 1985 World Champion Los Angeles Lakers Are Cookin' Family Cookbook. It was a beautiful hardback published by Basic Books. On the cover, the Lakers players are holding various woks and whisks, dressed in chef whites with toques on. Statistically, at least one of the 85 Lakers was being controlled by a rat under there, but we'll never know which one. My money's on Chuck Nevitt. While you might not buy the team as a group of gourmands, they probably did make the food.
I 100% believe that these people made this food. For one, the book contains many family photos of people making this food. Like, I'm just opening it up right now and I see Lon Rosen, a longtime marketing exec for both the Dodgers and Lakers, making a pizza with his wife. I see Josh Rosenfeld, director of PR at the time for the Lakers, holding up a tray of sushi, which at the time in 1985, even in Los Angeles, was a relatively new cuisine for non-Japanese people.
On the back cover are the Laker ladies themselves, in all the power suits and polyester you'd expect from the 1980s. Below them is text that reads, "Forum Community Services, Inc. is a nonprofit organization comprised of Laker wives and forum staff for the betterment of youth in Los Angeles. Among the group's other projects have been anti-drug rallies involving Lakers players and working with abused children. The sale of this cookbook will go directly towards funding similar projects." And it must have worked. Why? Because putting out an NBA championship cookbook for charity became kind of a thing. Of course, the rival Celtics didn't make one when they won the next year, but the next non-Laker team to hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy did. In 1989, the Pistons Women's Association released Cooking with the Champs, recipes from the World Champion Detroit Pistons. Then it was the Bulls dynasty, and the Chicago Bulls Wives Organization released Chicago Bulls, Cooking Up a Championship after their first three-peat. The Rockets skipped it, but that's probably because their frontman Hakeem Olajuwon was too busy playing one-on-one versus Shaq for Taco Bell.
It's Shaq versus Hakeem. The Taco Bell one-on-one championship coming soon to pay-per-view from the Trump Taj Mahal.
No excuses.
So, the Laker ladies caused a bit of a trend. But all of this misses one crucial detail. We've uncovered the origins of this strange bit of merchandising and told the story of the team of ladies that created it. But one important piece of the puzzle remains in question. Is the food any good? In 2019, one man set out to solve that final mystery. And you've already met him. It's Pablo Goldstein.
So 3 things happened. Number 1 was the popularity of Julie and Julia, both the book written by Julie Powell and the movie adaptation of it starring Amy Adams and Meryl Streep, which was you could say inspiration for my project, but I would call it a ripoff.
The Julie/Julia project. I cook my way through Julia Child's cookbook. 365 days, 524 recipes. I am risking my well-being for a deranged assignment. Is it crazy?
Yes. But the other 2 aspects were anger and spite from losing out on a job. I work in TV production and film production, and in the summer of 2019, I had interviewed to work on that Lakers HBO show.
Hey, Dr. Bus, I'm going to buy the Lakers. Ah, no kidding.
And I went through a few interviews, and this was like the perfect job for me. I was going to be a researcher on it, producer. And then after a few interviews, I got a call from the producer's assistant telling me I didn't get the job. But then a few months after that, Anthony Davis was traded to the Lakers after they put together a package with pretty much every young player they had drafted post Kobe's Achilles injury. And I just kind of got this crazy idea, like, what if I built a spreadsheet with 82 recipes from this cookbook for the 82 games in a regular season and tried to write an essay about the person who contributed the recipe, or if not the person who contributed the recipe, some piece of Los Angeles or Lakers history. And so I ended up on this project that used the cookbook as a way to explore not just the Showtime Lakers or that current 2019-2020 Lakers team, but also the history of Los Angeles in general.
And thus, the blog Goldstein and Gasol was born. The project was especially ambitious because Julie Powell was at least cooking food that was made by the legendary chef and food personality Julia Child. Pablo was cooking food made by the Lakers team dentist. But just like Julie, Pablo was only an amateur cook.
I wouldn't say I was a home chef necessarily, but I wasn't a total, I DoorDash every meal kind of person. At the time, I would say I was maybe like a 4 on a 1 through 10 scale of like a person who cooks at home a lot.
The Lakers cookbook was aimed at people who may not have a ton of culinary skill. But there were some hard parts. There was Riley's roll, a Swiss roll where Pat Riley made you bake a thin sponge cake, spread cream on it, and then roll it up. If you've ever watched The Great British Bake Off, you know how hard it is to get a spiral on these bad boys. Pablo's fell apart. Then you had Kareem's A Great Paella recipe, which you'd need one of those enormous paella pans for, even if you weren't cramming it full with enough protein to choke a fitness influencer.
I literally could not fit everything in that paella into my cast iron pan. Kareem, maybe because he, as a 7-foot tall man and at 300 pounds, needs a lot of protein, he included chicken, beef, haddock, lobster, clam, shrimp, and Italian sausage into this paella. And it was disgusting, very salty, did not fit in my pan, did not cook well. I'll never make that again, which you could probably say for about 90% of the recipes in this cookbook or in the blog that I did.
So, the Lakers cookbook was mostly gross. Despite coming from a food city famous for diverse flavors and fresh ingredients, the contents of the cookbook were positively mid-century.
When I picked up the cookbook and I decided to do this project, in my head, because it was 1985 Los Angeles, I thought, okay, this is kind of like the dawn of like modern LA cuisine. Like maybe there'll be a lot of Mexican food, maybe there'll be a lot of sushi. At the very least, I was hoping like, oh, maybe there'll be some like family recipes for soul food from some of the black players on the team. But what I found was a lot of gelatin desserts or like crab bisque or lobster bisque. I believe both were in the cookbook. You'd have like broiled salmon with dill, and I love salmon, but it was everything tasted like the 1950s. There was a real lack of like spice and taste.
But flavorless is actually preferable to some of the worst the Lakers cookbook had to offer. Some recipes were downright dangerously disgusting.
Another horrible recipe I cooked from the cookbook was Mitch Chortkoff's chicken with broccoli. It doesn't sound too bad. You know, chicken with broccoli, how bad can it be? But one of the main ingredients in this casserole dish was 1 cup of whipped cream. And so I took 12 chicken breasts and added sour cream, butter, onion soup mix from a package, whipped cream, and Parmesan cheese, mixed it all together, added it to this chicken and broccoli, and then baked it. And I think I took 1 bite of this horrid dish before just saying like, okay, I don't need to eat the rest of it. I can write a piece without eating it. But the next morning I woke up with the worst back pain I've ever had in my entire life. And I immediately went to my living room floor and laid down on the hardwood floor for like 2 hours until my then girlfriend and now wife was like, I think you might be passing a kidney stone. So I went to Kaiser Permanente on Sunset Boulevard, and they quickly realized like, yes, you are passing a kidney stone. And I don't know if kidney stones can form that quickly, but I have a feeling that the chicken and broccoli was the final piece of that kidney stone that pushed it out of my kidney and into my ureter and created a now lifetime of me having to take potassium citrate pills to prevent any further kidney stones. I blame it all on this disgusting chicken and broccoli dish.
But like Julie Powell after burning her joy of cooking dishes, or the Lakers losing 2 finals in a row, Pablo regrouped, kept trying, and made some things from the cookbook that were actually pretty good.
I really enjoyed Magic Johnson's sweet potato pie, which I believe was the very first thing I cooked for the project. And Jerry West's strawberry cheesecake was really delicious, and I surprised myself that I could cook a cheesecake.
Yes, you too can cook Jerry West's strawberry cheesecake, as long as you have the 1985 World Champion Los Angeles Lakers Are Cooking Family Cookbook. Unfortunately, you won't be able to find Team Wives charity programs coming out with cookbooks anymore. There hasn't been an NBA champion cookbook since 2002, when the Lakers went back-to-back and decided that called for a sequel. Benefiting the Lakers Youth Foundation and spearheaded again by Linda Rambis 16 years after the first one, The Lakers Are Cooking Again features Shaq on the cover, looking goofy in chef whites, a toque, and his signature grin. Pablo has no interest in cooking everything in this one, but compared to the Showtime recipes, the Kobe Shaq Lakers look like they graduated from the cordon bleu. If you've got a few bucks, maybe pick up an NBA championship cookbook. Give it a whirl, and remember the Laker ladies who made it all possible. That's what I did.
I challenge you to cook from the Lakers Are Cooking Again cookbook, the late Kobe Bryant's Seared Tuna.
Step 1. Place a large, non-stick skillet coated with non-stick spray over medium heat until hot. Add fennel seeds and garlic. Saute about 3 minutes until the seeds are fragrant and slightly toasted. Okay, I'm going to spoon that mixture of, as far as I can tell, just fennel seeds and garlic into a bowl and then start the next process. To your fennel garlic mixture, add wine, olives, lemon juice, orange rind, and red pepper. Stir well and set aside. Next, I'm going to sprinkle black pepper and salt all over the tuna. Seasoning your protein. Great job, Kobe. Then I'm going to once again spray the skillet with non-stick spray and place over medium-high heat until this time very hot. Add tuna, saute 2 minutes on each side or until medium rare or to desired degree of doneness. Remove tuna from the skillet, set aside and keep warm. Add the wine mixture to the skillet, cook 2 minutes or until the sauce is slightly reduced. Pour sauce evenly over steaks. Garnish with orange rind if desired. And that's Kobe's seared tuna. So, how is Kobe Bryant's seared tuna? Well, it's got a great crust, pretty good chew. The olives are a nice touch. It's light, citrusy. I think I did a pretty good job cooking it. Would I cook this again? I think so. Maybe not right away, but it's in the cookbook. We gotta get back on this. Next, ladies, drop a cookbook. Bon appetit. This episode of Echo of the Whistle was produced, written, edited, and hosted by me, Harry Swartout. Special thanks for this episode goes out to Pablo Goldstein. He ate all of that garbage for us. A complete list of sources for this story can be found in the show notes. Please like, subscribe, and leave a review so you don't miss any new episodes. If you're craving more, head over to Patreon and support Echo of the Whistle for bonus content, and make sure we can keep telling you uncommon sports stories. Until next time, keep playing.